live stream lecture. And before I get in this very important lecture, I just want to thank all of my supporters for supporting my channel. You know, my channel has done has had phenomenal growth in 2023, and none of that would have been possible without all of my, supporters, my viewers, my members, my sponsors. And I really do want to thank everyone for supporting my channel. So with that being said, let's get down to today's very, very important lecture. This lecture here ties into the whole core concept of my channel. It ties into the concept of my powerful book, Awake Financial Freedom. The audio version of this book became available a couple of months ago. But this is a very, very important topic, which is do not be a slavery to debt. Do not be a slavery to debt, because if the viewers are aware, from 2007 to 2012, Marie Holiday was a slavery to debt, and I got tired of living like that. And what I mean by a slavery to debt, one of the things I've been doing since I fully retired in September this year is I've been reading more, real books. And this book by Paris Wood, I don't know her, but I've been reading her book, and it is powerful. And the title of this book is The Black Girl's Guide to Financial Freedom. And this young lady, she talks about that slavery to debt in this book. And as I was reading it, it literally gave me chills, because it took me back in time when I was a slavery to debt. And one of the things she talks about, and you just got to, like I said, I don't know her, but when I come across a good read, I'm gonna share the information. I'm gonna let everybody know, especially when I come across any type of good read that can assist a person in building their financial wealth and getting out of debt. But she talks about in here in terms of the slavery of debt and getting and setting yourself free as soon as possible. And that requires you got to be able to have a shift in mindset. She talks about that, shifting your mindset, like I had to do in 2012 to shift my mindset to the point now where I am financially free. Because she gave some really good everyday details on, I'm gonna break it down to you, because we all know what debt is. Credit card debt. You got folks, everyday people, even folks who might be listening to this, 4 and 5, 6, 9, 10 different credit cards. So credit card debt, medical debt, personal loan debt, school loan debt, mortgage debt, car note debt, just debt after debt after debt, which will make you a slavery to debt. So it don't matter what your income is. If you got all this debt, and I don't care if you're working full-time, part-time, whatever money you bringing in, and if that debt is exceeding your income, then you don't have any disposable money left to invest, to build your emergency savings account, to increase your 401s, the financial portfolio, because you are a slavery to debt. And I mean, this book is powerful. And I'm actually in the process of reading it for the second time. This book, I'm telling you, this young woman, she talks about her slavery to debt and her awakening from all of that. I'm telling you, just imagine for a moment. She talks about in this book, you would have a person who, say for example, you got folks who are not a slavery to debt. They have no credit card debt, no medical debt, no personal loan debt, no school loan debt, no car note debt, no mortgage debt. Marie Holiday, one of those individuals. So now, since I have no debt, so my income that I have every month for my retirement check Yeah, we all gonna have food, gas, utilities, insurance. That's a given. But I'm talking about this real debt. So what that does is I'm in a position where I can literally, or anybody who's in this position, when you're not a slavery to debt, then you can turn around and whatever your income is, now you're building your wealth, your financial portfolio, your retirement accounts, your stocks, or emergency savings. So anything come up, you can handle it because you got now all of this disposable income. And she does a phenomenal job in literally taking a person and breaking it down and talking about how important it is. You got to first shift your mindset. You got to shift your mindset from being that slavery to debt. You know, there are people who are making $100,000+ a year, but they are such a slavery to debt. They are living from paycheck to paycheck. They ain't got no extra money to invest. They ain't got no extra money to increase their emergency savings account because they're a slavery to debt, versus you can have someone with an income of $20,000 a year have none of this debt, none, other than their food, gas, and utility. So they can literally reinvest over 80% of that $20,000 a year that they're making because they have no slavery to debt. I'm telling you, I don't care if it's 2024 about ready to come up, or any year in the future, beginning right now, don't be a slavery to debt. Because as I traveled to visit Cairo, Egypt, for almost 2 weeks, and as I was on that spiritual journey, I was just talking to so many people that I met throughout the airport, en route, when I was sitting in London International Airport, en route to Cairo, meeting all of these people. But there was one person that I met on the plane. I took me 3 planes to get there. And I was noticing, it was a older woman, but I was noticing she was on all these planes with me. And by listening to her, she was also headed to Cairo, Egypt, but she was in a different guided tour than I was, but her destination was the same. So we struck up a conversation, and she even talked about how early on she had that mindset is not being a slavery to debt, and how it's so refreshing as you begin to travel and do things, because a lot of people create debt to travel, but it's so much enjoyable when anyone can travel, when I'm able to travel, when she's able to travel, like she stated, where you ain't creating no new debt and you can really enjoy that experience. So the takeaway from this is, don't be a slavery to debt. Come up with a game plan to start paying away your debt, whatever strategy you come up with. And each debt you pay off, rather it's those multiple credit cards, that medical bill, that student loan, that mortgage, that car note, each bill that you pay off, she talks about it in this book. I talk about it in my book. Each bill that you paid off, each bill you pay off, you take that same money and treat it like it don't exist, and you begin to start building your wealth, building that financial portfolio, building that emergency fund. And I'm telling you, that requires a shift in mindset, because I'm telling you, no matter what year that we're going into, that slavery to debt, it will chip away at your motivation. It'll chip away at your inspiration in every other thing that you may want to do, if you do not cut that slavery, being a slavery to debt. This is real talk. They don't teach this in school. They don't teach this in college. What society really does teach us is how to be a slavery to debt versus how not to be a slavery to debt. And that is the secret right there in terms of building your financial wealth. And I'm here to tell you, again, this book is powerful. I can feel her spiritual transformation as I read through every single page. This is a powerful book, a must-read book for anybody. I don't care if you're in middle school, high school, 20s, 30s, 40s. It's never too late to break the slavery of debt. And I'm here to tell you. So ladies and gentlemen, so that's all I have. Mark your calendar for Saturday, January the 6th, where I'm going to give a powerful live stream lecture on in-depth insight on my spiritual journey to Cairo, Egypt. I was over there for almost 2 weeks, and that's going to also be an opportunity for other content creators to cross collaborate, because there is power in collaboration. I met a lot of Egyptian connections in Cairo, Egyptian content creators who have been tuning into my channel, and I'm beginning to see my numbers rise and rise to a level that I could have never imagined. And that's validation right there that there is power in cross collaboration. So that's all I have. Simple Fidelis, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.